Hello and welcome to 2026 and this the first video of the year. So today I have popped over the border to visit the Venus pools just outside Shrewsbury. The site here is about 66 acres and is run by the Shropshire Ornithological Society. Now there is the main pool that you will see on the map here, and around that we have a selection of 5 hides. Now I know at least one of them is for members only as indicated on the map. However, I'm not 100% sure if it is just that one or if there is actually another one, because on the website it says that there are 2 members only hides, but on the map it says that there is only 1. So we will find out together and we'll go in all the ones that we're able to. I am not a member, so I won't be going into the members only hides. I'm on my way to the Woodland hide, which is also Lena's hide or hide 2 on the map, and that is where I'm going to start my day. Okay, so we are now in the Woodland hide, and this one they've actually got feeders out, which is quite cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm the only one here for the moment, so I'm going to make the most of that and set myself up and do a sit and wait, and hopefully we'll see something interesting. Now I chose not to bring a tripod today because I figured I'll be doing lots of sitting in hides and then lots of walking in between. So what I have done is brought my beanbag. Now the last time you would have seen this was when I was out with the black grouse trying to use it on the window of my car, and it was a bit too big for that. However, for this sort of setup, I think it's going to be ideal. So there are a nice selection of feeders at this hide, which is great to see. So all I'm going to do is, I guess, pick a perch nearby one of them and hope that something lands on it. At the moment they just seem to be just going from feeder to feeder. So I think I'm going to sit and wait and see if there's a particular spot where they sort of stop to, and then see what pictures we can get. At the moment there's lots of blue tits, great tits. I've seen a couple of long-tailed tits, which was nice, and then so like robins, lots of like garden sort of small woodland birds. But it's amazing to see so many. So hopefully I'll be able to pick out a perch from all this lot and get some shots. Now I did make a bit of a faux pas this morning in that I forgot to pack a pair of binoculars to bring with me today. But I'm hoping that's not going to cause me too much issues. I do have the 200 to 600 that I can look through, but obviously a pair of binoculars would have been a lot more convenient. Sitting in this hide made me realise just how lucky I am with my home setup, as I have all these same birds visiting the garden in a much less cluttered location. So we've been in the hide for a while now, and it is pretty much mostly woodland birds. We did have a young woodpecker come in for a little bit, which was nice to see. However, nothing's really landing on perches, which is a shame. They're all just going straight feeder to feeder, which is lovely to see, and there are so many birds here, but I'm finding it difficult to actually get any photos. Now I did meet Phil from Shrewsbury Wildlife on Instagram, if you want to give him a follow, and he sort of gave me the lay of the land a bit as to where I might see things, and so that was really helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer, I think, just in case. Then I think what we'll do is we'll head over to the main hide, which is overlooking the actual pond, before heading out into the fields and see what we can see there. So that was a nice little sit out in that hide. Unfortunately, I didn't get any photos, so we're going to head over to the main hide and see what's on the pond. Now, one of the things Phil said was that this hide is probably the most popular, so I'm not too sure how much chatting we're going to be doing in there, because I'm still get quite camera shy around people, so like I said earlier, if there's lots of people we might go into voiceover mode. On the pond there was an absolutely massive gathering of lapwings, which was just great to see. There were also some cormorants, teal, widgeon, as well as an Egyptian goose. It was amazing to see all these different species, but I found I struggled to photograph them as I was struggling to get some good compositions, but also they kept a good distance away from the hide. There's lots of waterfowl out on the pond, but nothing really to take a picture of, unfortunately. So I've been in there for a little while, so what I'm going to do is head out, go for a little plod and see if there's anything else for me to see. And so I can confirm that there are only 3 hides that you can visit as a non-member. So this is the 3rd hide, sort of, or the 4th hide on this side of the pond, and we've got a members only sign for that, so they are coded, so I'm not going to be able to get in down there, which is fine. So what we'll do is we'll head out on a little walk and hopefully we'll get a bit luckier and we'll see something out in the fields. One of the things I've noticed is that it's not got the best signage at this site, so if you are planning on visiting, I would download the map off of the website, and I will leave a link in the description for that. So I've had to consult said map to see where I can walk, and I'm pretty sure I can go all the way around this field and then it should join up and we should be able to then walk to the fen hide, which is on the other side of the pond, and see what we see there. It's starting to feel a bit like a classic solo Joe trip where I try my best to plan somewhere and find something interesting to go and see, and the wildlife forgets to turn up. But still quite early, so hopefully we'll still see something. So we're at the top side of the field, and I believe this may be the former quarry, because there's mention of it on the website, not on the maps, but it looks former quarry-esque. So might have a stop here. There's a guy in the bush over there, so there's the Kestrel line right in front of me. The grasses are too long, I can't see over them. Kestrel's just dropped off the fence that it was on. Not been able to get a clear shot of it because the grasses were too high. I tried to manual focus, but that didn't work, so I'm really not in a very good position. Yeah, I haven't got much in the way of cover. It doesn't seem too bothered by me having just landed in front of me. Right, I'm gonna try and go up to the right, see if I can get a better position. These grasses, man. It's moved on, but did I get a shot? Sort of. Sort of not. Oh, talk about wrong place, wrong time. Dang it. What I am going to do is move down and probably just wait around here and see if I can get a better position where there aren't any grasses in my way. I ran into Phil again after seeing that kestrel, and it's still here. I can see it, it's just across the way from me. And he said that it does hang out around here and does like that fence. So I'm going to try and find a spot where hopefully if it does come back this side, I can get a good picture of it. Now, the one problem with being on this side of where I am is that it is backlit pretty much. So I can see the fence from here. And it's not ideal. Whilst we are waiting here, I thought it would be a good chance to mention that if you are after a calendar for 2026, then I have many calendars available to purchase via my website, filled with 12 of my favourite images taken over the past year, including the camera settings that I use to take the images. You can get them on my website, joehurd.uk, or head to the links in the description. Chosen to come up and sit just on the edge of this bank. I can still see the kestrel sitting in its tree from here. And I just feel that this is a bit better than standing in amongst those, I don't know what they were, gorsey bits, I shall call them, in the shrubland. This is a better side. I'm not going to be shooting like backlit from here if it does come over. I'm sort of up and over from where I landed on the fence in front of me, so what we want to do is sit and hope now that it does come back this way and pose obligingly for us. You're not going to be able to see it on this, but there's this silver birch here, and then it's on a tree, another silver birch just out behind it. Unfortunately, the kestrel has moved on. I didn't see which direction it flew off in, so I did wait around for a bit after it had gone, and I can't really see much anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on around this field and see if we get lucky somewhere else. We're now walking along the bottom of the arable field that's marked on the map, and we should have a turn off coming up that's going to take us around the pool and over to the other side where we can go and have a sit in the fen hide. So I am now walking through this lovely little bit of woodland on my way to the fen hide. It's quite quiet in here. I thought there might be some woodland birds. There's a load of bird boxes on the trees. However, it's really quiet. Like I can hear some songs over the sound of the road, but it's quite quiet. Don't think anyone's been in that one for a while, judging by the amount of cobwebs around the hole. But we're at the fen hide now, so I'm not sure if anyone's in there, so I'm going to go quiet until we find out. So there were a couple of people in the hide when I got here, and I spoke to them and they hadn't really seen anything. We did see a very over-friendly, overconfident robin, which was nice. I think I got a good shot of it. When it came back for the second time, it was just too close and I couldn't get the camera to focus. It was well within the minimum distance that this lens can focus. But that was nice to see. But it is pretty quiet here. I can see squirrels, but I mean, yeah, there's not much in the way here. There are some feeders, there's one big feeder, but again, there's not really any perches over here, which is a shame. I feel like, I mean, obviously I've only been the one time, so it's not really my place to be like, you should do this. But I feel like if there were some more perches around in sort of areas like this, and more perches over in that woodland hide, oh, our little robin friend is back, then it could possibly be a bit easier to get some photos. Right, I'm going to have to move back for this. Hey fella. Ooh. I don't think you should be in the hide. I reckon he obviously has been fed before, which is why he's very intent on coming inside. But yeah, as I was saying, perches. I think if there are a few more perches out, I might encourage the birds to, well, perch, to get a few images, really. It's definitely a place that I'm going to have to come back to again and again to really get a good feel of it, and to make the most of the hides and you know, what birds are here at different seasons and that sort of thing. It was really good to see that kestrel. Gutted that I was in the wrong place. However, to be able to get that close to a wild kestrel is pretty exciting, and that's pretty special, really. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here for a bit longer and see if there is anything that does come past that sort of interest and hangs around enough to take a picture before I start heading back towards the car. Well, I've been out in the fen hide for a while, and other than that very inquisitive robin, there wasn't really much else to see. So I think that is where I'm going to call the video here. I have had a very sparrowhawk. Well, honestly, what is it with me and talking to camera and the birds arriving? Anyway. Good. Anyway, I think that is where I'm going to leave it for my first visit here to the Venus pools. It is definitely a spot that I'm going to have to come back to again and again to make sure I get the best out of it and learn where all the animals are to get the best images. So thank you very much for coming along on this first trip of the year with me, and I shall see you in the next video.